Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery with the purchase of any smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Sue, returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Hands to Hester, and Hester, yep, got it, 5 out of 5.
From carrying each other to a natty to carrying each other on the air.
Flynn is back to throw from the end zone. Boom!
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio. It's Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 3, OTB 104.5, ESPN Baton Rouge. Let's go out to the West Coast. Our guy, Ross Jackson, LouisianaSports.net. You know him, you love him, covering the Saints out there. Ross, what's going on, brother? How we doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me this morning.
All right, so what's maybe been your biggest takeaway? Obviously, the Saints, they leave Metairie. They go out west. They have a preseason game against the Chargers, going to practice against the Rams. What's kind of been the biggest takeaway maybe in the road trip?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I would highlight, sticking with the biggest story, which is that quarterback battle, is that the quarterback battle got a lot more tight out here, got a lot more competitive out here. That felt very much that quarterback battle like that was, kind of Spencer Rattlers from the very beginning out in Metairie, out in New Orleans, kind of getting, accustomed to, or being the guy that's already kind of accustomed to the NFL game and the NFL speed and all those other things. That kind of worked to his advantage early on during training camp. But then the Saints got out here to California and they did a lot more of these kind of call-it practice periods. So they went away from kind of the scripted, we're working this situation and this down and distance with this play, with this goal in mind. And it just got into some live play calling, almost like simulations, scrimmages in some cases as well. And that really kind of elevated Tyler Shuck's game a bit, I think. And we've seen him really build momentum here over the course of these West Coast training camps. So now the Saints will go back to do this preseason game on Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars and still have a very, very tight quarterback battle. And so I think that would be my biggest takeaway, is just went from Spencer Rattler kind of leading the way to at least it still being now tight enough for this battle to continue going into that second preseason game.
Yeah, Ross, and I agree with you. It almost felt like they were going to make a call, the last couple of days, maybe even after the first preseason game. And then Shuck comes in, has some nice moments, certainly nice 2-minute drive. And now it seems like they're, still in full-on position battle mode. So, when do you think, because, like you said, second preseason game, we know there's only 3 games now. When do you think a call is actually going to be made?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that you're going to see with this is that you might see 2 different calls, right? You might see one that happens privately, and then you have the announcement that happens after the case. And so a public announcement will probably be different than the actual decision itself. But I think the Saints are in a position now to where they could be just one really strong performance away from either announcing or making up their mind or kind of having that decision made for them. I think that if you look at where the Saints can be following that Jacksonville Jaguars game on Sunday, that could be the big, kind of situation there that effectively tells them, hey, this is going to be the guy that we're going to go with. I mean, the Saints have seen this before. They had a preseason game against the Jacksonville Jaguars years ago when they were trying to make their decision between Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, if you remember that a couple of years ago. And it was a big performance by Jameis Winston that ended up sealing that conversation. And so if either one of these guys comes in and has a considerably more impressive performance or a considerably more consistent and impactful performance up against Jacksonville, that could be the proverbial nail in the coffin, as it were. But I think you would have to do something that's going to convince this team to hand it over at that point. Otherwise, I could see this going into game week. I could see this going into, at least this week. The tricky part is, and you guys know this well, that after the second preseason game with the preseason now being condensed, this is kind of, after this game, you start to really move into some week one preparation. You kind of know what your roster is going to be after this game, with some exceptions. Those guys that are still battling for spots and vying for opportunities, they're going to play in that third preseason game, but you're probably not going to play a ton of guys that you're sure about in that third preseason game. And so you can start to transition your, first team focus and your early team focus over to game planning, and having a quarterback ready for that could be really valuable. So I would say that if one of those guys comes out and has some kind of emphatic enough performance and there's a separation in the game against Jacksonville, that the Saints could feel pretty comfortable at least starting to change their focus before making the announcement about who that starting quarterback might be.
Do y'all have any indication or heard from any of the coaches on how they're going to do the rotation for the Jacksonville game? Because there's a big difference between playing in the first half of a preseason game versus the second half. It's hard. You can't judge those apples to apples. So do y'all have any indication how that's going to be? I mean, it would be better to have a true series by series if you're trying to really compare apples to apples as closely as possible. But you've seen it. Deep balls present themselves in practice. A guy makes a good move. It might not present himself for the other guy. And so that day, that guy that hit the deep ball because a guy got open looks better than the other guy because the guy didn't have a guy streak open.
Right.
So things are skewed. That's why it's so hard to make a final call with two unknowns and to make such a big decision on the most important, because you have to figure out the best way to compare apples to apples as close as possible. And every day in practice or every game situation is not created equal. So what's the indication right now on how they're going to do it?
Yeah, they haven't made any kind of indication to us just yet. I think that the typical rhythm would be to let Tyler Shuck get sort of that first crack at the first team. You had Spencer Rattler do that in the first game. You could give Tyler Shuck that opportunity here in the second game. But in terms of how that rotation actually looks, right, is that one quarter, is that, like you said, drive by drive, which I think would be wise. Is it, 5 drives here, 5 drives there, like we kind of saw during that preseason game, during the first preseason game? We haven't really got an indication of that just yet. And to your point, I completely agree with sort of the preseason evaluation, if you will, because the other thing is you're going out there and you're a starter in the preseason and you're taking quote unquote first team reps, but you're taking quote unquote first team reps with maybe your first team offensive line, but not with your first team skill players, for instance. Sure. And so do you really have your starting lineup, right? And so I think that's one of the reasons why yesterday's joint practice was so important for the Saints and in evaluating that quarterback competition, because that was really the only time that we've seen over and over and over again Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler both kind of go drive for drive with the actual first team players that they, are going to line up next to in week 1 in 2025. Right. And so I think that's one of the reasons why maybe New Orleans really wanted that kind of late scheduled joint practice and tried to pull that off and did pull that off as they did, because it kind of gives them that additional evaluation.
Yeah, Ross, one of the things that was surprising in the opening preseason game was the struggles of the interior offensive line. Certainly Cesar Ruiz, a player that is going to, obviously be counted on. How have the practices gone against the Rams? Because the Rams have one of the better young defensive fronts in all of that, the National Football League.
Yeah, not great. The Rams, not great. The Rams' defensive line kind of took them to task. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it was. And look, there's a couple of things, there's a couple of pieces of kind of context around that. You don't game plan for joint practices, right? You don't watch tape for joint practices. You don't You don't do those kinds of things, especially in a situation like this where they were kind of thrown together in a rush. And they were kind of, impressively thrown together in a rush, by the way. Like, just the logistics of getting that together in less than a week is pretty astronomical. And so, but, as a team, you're not watching game tape to get ready for, and you're not game planning for these joint practices. You're running scripted plays. You're doing all these things. And so I give a little bit of that context just to say that, like, a lot of the stuff that the Saints struggled with were stunts, twist, things like that you would identify on tape and learn how to counter and have a plan for, that you just kind of walk into a joint practice with no plan for. So you just kind of have to respond to what it is that you see. Like, you have a general idea of what these guys like to do. But, Chris Shula is evolving that defense going into another year as a defensive coordinator there after Raheem Morris left and everything. And so there are things that they're going to be doing differently. And so, would I say that there was something you should look at from an optimistic standpoint when it comes to that offensive line going up against the Rams' really talented defensive line? No, not necessarily. But if there's a silver line coming out of it, it was like, hey, that's what it looks like without game planning. Week 9, when they go up against the Rams, they'll have a chance to game plan a little bit, go over some game film, and then see how they can improve there. And so I would look for the offensive line to perform better week 1 than we saw them perform in the joint practices. But yeah, no, they got taken to task quite a bit during those joint practices.
Tell us, like, the one position group or unit that during this joint practice where you sat there and watched and consistently you could say, all right, not bad. That looks pretty good. Like, pretty excited about that. What was that moment?
Yeah, I mean, that's the edge rushers for me, the Saints edge rushers. Chase Young had a phenomenal day. The dude had, like, multiple pressures, 2 sacks that I would have felt pretty comfortable calling sacks. I mean, it's Jimmy Garoppolo. You're not really escaping much, right, in those situations. And so, you're getting back there, you're getting into the – yeah, well, I mean, that just means he's not the most mobile guy, you know what I mean? And so, you're getting back there, he's getting these pressures and everything like that. He's getting a couple of sacks, I would say, during the day too. But then he also had, like, 3 pass breakups because 2 of them he just got into the backfield and was able to knock down these sort of swing or outlet passes out to the flat to the running back. And he was actually in coverage against, I believe it was, might have been Tyler Higbee. It was one of the tight ends where he literally broke up a pass in coverage and everything. Because these edge rushers, like this 3-4 scheme, you're going to have to drop every now and then. Yeah. And so, he did that and ended up getting a play. So I thought he had just a fantastic day. One of the better days that I've seen from Chase Young. And look, you're hoping that this team, if you're this team, you're hoping that they're going to be able to unlock this guy's potential in a way that other teams haven't been able to before. And Brandon Staley just seems like maybe the right guy to get that done. So we'll see what that looks like in the regular season. I thought that Carl Granderson had a strong day from that position group. Fidel Diggs had a potential sack. We saw Chris Rumpf with a potential sack as well. And so it just feels like that edge rusher position has gone from, 3 marquee name guys in Chase Young, Carl Granderson, and Cam Jordan to maybe having up to 6, 5 or 6 players that can be contributors, and I think that's a good place to be at that position group.
Ross, one of the things we talked about last week, it was so difficult to evaluate the running backs because of how poor I thought the offensive line played. And even a play, that was a 2-yard run. It's like, man, I can see some burst from the running backs and Kendre Miller. It's like, I get it. I get why he's getting 3rd and 4th chances because you see that burst that he has, but it's so tough to evaluate them because it's like, where do you tell them to go? Like, I was watching the end zone copy of the game and me and Matt kind of had the same thought process. It's like, I don't know where to tell him to go on this run. That's why it's a 2-yard run, because they just never were able to really get going. Like, that was a surprise to me just because this offensive line that you've had, so many big investments in, like, if it's pass protection, okay, maybe not as shocking, but in the run game, like, it was very tough to evaluate these running backs. And I think that's one of the more intriguing position battles, I think, in camp.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think you're right. Like, so to match an analytic with your tape, the Saints offensive line allowed just 0.55, so half a yard before contact on each of those rushing attempts in Sunday's game. And so the reason why that metric is important is because that's effectively, for those that aren't familiar with it, an offensive line metric that shows how much room are you giving your running back before he's touched by a defender. And so you typically want to be around 1.5 to 2.5 yards. Somewhere in that range is a range from successful to very successful. And you kind of want to be in that range when it comes to that. And the Saints were about 1/3 to 1/5 of that in terms of their per carry production. during this game. Now, I think that is a big piece of context that matches what you guys are talking about in terms of like, I don't know where to tell Kendre Miller to go with this football. And he had 20 yards after contact. However, he only had 14 rushing yards, which shows you how often he was being contacted behind the line of scrimmage, right? And so I think that like those are the little things that you really need to see and want to see accelerate in terms of the conversation. And to be clear, too, we're talking about the Kendre Miller rushes, which happened a lot behind starting offensive line guys. These aren't, runs behind the third team offensive line or anything like that. Like this was behind the starting offensive line, or sans Eric McCoy, of course, who didn't play in the game, but starting offensive line, and then minus 2 or 3 guys, at certain times. And so you want to see when you get that full complement of starting offensive linemen on the field, even though Trevor Penning's probably not going to be one of those guys early on. It might be Dylan Radins at left guard. We'll see where things go with his injury, but that's a place where you need to see this team improve, and where they struggled in each of the last few years. And look, Kellen Moore's got a great run scheme, but part of having a great run scheme is being able to execute on the offensive line to create what you need to create for those running backs, not force the running backs to create on their own. And so that's going to be a really, really important sort of piece of progress to track over the course of the preseason. And I would say early on, like the first month, as offensive line play around the NFL settles in with the regular season.
Ross, before they headed out to California, we had kind of heard the rumblings and people saying that Rashid Shaheed might have been the MVP of camp up to that point. Did that carry over to California and through the joint practice?
Yeah, especially the joint practice. I mean, there weren't a lot of big plays to be had for those young quarterbacks who were under a lot of pressure with those first-team reps against the Rams. But one of those big plays was this deep bomb down the left sideline from Spencer Rattler to Rashid Shaheed. And, look, Rashid Shaheed is one of the perennial outstanding deep threats in the NFL, but he has shown so much in terms of what he can do in the short and intermediate areas of the game so far here throughout camp, that Kellen Moore has kind of opened up that route tree a little bit for him, let him be a catch and run threat, let him be, kind of that short, 3-level threat, which is only going to make him better deep because he'd be more efficient with their usage of that. I think that is, I think we've seen a lot of growth from Rashid Shaheed. And much like most of the team, the biggest question around Shaheed is he going to be able to stay healthy throughout the 2025 season? And you're asking that question for most teams, most players, right? Especially the valuable ones. And so no big surprise there, but his ability now to kind of be this 3-level threat and be utilized all over the field has really helped him kind of step into that next level. Put on some weight this offseason as well. He's trying to play around 190 pounds this year. So he's trying to play up about, 3, 4, 5 pounds from last season to kind of help keep himself on the field, help keep himself healthy, help, keep him, able to take hits, things like that. And he's been awesome here throughout training camp. That definitely continued here in California.
All right, there he is. I got Ross Jackson, LouisianaSports.net, always putting out incredible articles. Check him out on the website, of course, host of Locked On Saints podcast as well. Ross, enjoy that weather, sir, for a couple more days, and we'll see you back here in the heat and humidity very soon.
Can't wait, man. I can't wait to step into that humidity hug, as I like to call it, walking out of the airport. Can't wait. I'll see you guys soon. Appreciate you having me on.
All right, again, Ross Jackson does a great job for us over on LouisianaSports.net. We got to talk about the offensive line.
Do we? Do we have to? Boy. I think he said everything we need to know.
And look, the Rams have a fantastic defensive line. I mean, it could be up as maybe the best in its totality in the NFL. Truly it could be. They got a lot of Jimmys and Joes. But I was hoping that Ross would have been like, not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Usually it's like iron sharpens iron, but this might have been like iron sharpens
butter.
Aluminum, plastic, I don't know.
Just iron through butter.
Hot iron.
Yeah, it didn't even have to be hot.
Cold.
Any iron through the Saints butter.
Yeah, we're in a group chat, and he just texted the group chat yesterday and was like, offense was awful. I said, wait, really?
I'm beginning to think.
We laugh so we don't cry.
I'm beginning to think, as all the things that Tyler Shuck did in the offseason, eating the oysters, like really doing all the things to get into our hearts here in Louisiana, I'm kind of thinking he's not a hot weather guy.
You think that?
Like
You think he's balling out there on the West Coast?
Practice is hard in the heat for a quarterback because the ball's wet. Like, man, it's just different situation, especially if you've never been in it. Go out there to that good weather, all of a sudden you're spinning it. I don't know, guys. Is he one of us? Can he handle the heat?
Well, so the good news is
He doesn't have to. I get
he doesn't have to a ton. Like, he'll go to Tampa. That's a division game.
I know.
Carolina. Atlanta's a dome. You're a dome.
Yeah,
so.
you play 9 or 10, depending on the scheduled games inside of a dome.
But you can eat all the oysters you want. If you can't handle the heat,
Get out the kitchen.
That's what they say.
you're getting the dome.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Tyler Shuck, not a hot weather guy.
All right.
Hates the heat.
On that note, before we take a break, I'll tell you about our friends over at Central Plumbing.
Smart.
Get to the website today, centralplumbing.org.
They can handle the heat.
Always. And they can handle it 24/7, 365, weekend, game day, holiday. They can handle the heat. 225-925-8552, centralplumbing.org. Not only in Central, in the entire greater Baton Rouge area, we are talking to you. The Payne family have been doing this since Moby Dick was a minnow. They're going to continue to do it and do it at the highest level here in the greater Baton Rouge area. Again, go to the website today, centralplumbing.org. I'm sitting here thinking about the Saints running backs and what it must have looked like when they got the football. Before we go to break, I'm
Scary.
Like, when you have 20 yards post-contact and you had 14 yards in the game, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Looked like a clogged toilet that Central Plumbing could fix.
We'll go to
Nothing's
break.
getting through.
More OTB, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the bench.
All right, if you're going to the first game in Clemson, South Carolina, and you want to do it in style, not only in style, but the style, go to ascend-travel.com. They plan so you can fan. There is great packages right now on the website. When you go right there, scroll down, LSU versus Clemson, August the 30th. Click on more information to pull all of those up. We're talking about getting to Clemson, South Carolina. We're talking about having a hotel there. We're talking about getting to and from the game. We're talking about exclusive tailgate packages as well. They take care of it all. So you just enjoy LSU versus Clemson there. Top 10 matchup, ascend-travel.com.
You want to be styling, profiling, private jet flying? Go to ascend-travel.com. They will book everything for you for that game. And if you want to get there yourself, if you just want to drive, you want to fly yourself, they can do hotel, tickets, tailgate, all the things. Give them a call. Go see them at ascend-travel.com.
Locked in on LSU football 24/7. You're listening to Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. All right, so if you're watching this on YouTube, you see my guy Chris there. My man Chris has put together a custom card for us, and the handle on Instagram, I want to make sure, Chris, I get this right, at 4C_custom cards. That is, you have to speak right into that microphone as well, so you can kind of bring it up there.
Okay,
Look at you, Flynn.
This microphone needs to be moved too.
It's okay.
Check this out.
Hey, there we go. So we got Chris in studio with us. He does custom cards, and my, oh my, he has put together one of Flynn and Hester, Team OTB.
Can we zoom in?
Yeah, we can zoom in.
Which camera?
Zoom in.
Which camera?
Chris, appreciate you coming in studio. How we doing?
No problem.
Check this bad boy out. Like, look at this. This is legit.
That's one of one there.
One of one. A custom card. So we made this.
Yes.
All right. So if you don't know Chris's work, you should. Again, at 4C_custom cards on Instagram. He can, take any card and make it into a custom one of one. That's what he's done for us here. Incredible card. It's okay, Tay. We can get a Zoom situation. Oh, nope. There we go. You can get the idea right there. So I reached out to Chris, and I've seen Chris at card shows and different shows before. He's the one that did the custom one-on-one of me that we did in the jersey raffle there. So he did another one for us because, like, we got to have a Flynn Hester card that we can put here on the desk every single day. So we're fired up about it. So, Chris, how long does this take you to do a custom card? Because, again, check out his work on Instagram. He does a lot of your favorite former LSU athletes and Joe Burrow and Paul Skeens, and he puts together these incredible one-of-one cards. But how long does something like this take?
Counting the planning and finding what I need, it takes a while. At the shows, I don't really charge a lot. It was a hobby.
Yeah.
People started getting wind of it and seeing the stuff, and people started wanting it, and I wanted it to stay affordable.
Right.
But I just take real cards and I cut them and make different cards out of them.
Now, how did you start this process? Was it something like maybe you saw someone else do it, or maybe it's just like, hey, I want to create my own cards. I want it to look a certain way?
I actually ordered. I'm a big Cameron Jordan fan.
Okay, we all are.
And I ordered one from a guy on Reddit.
Yeah.
And when it came in, it was horrible.
It's like a custom card that someone made?
Yeah.
Okay.
He did pretty much the same thing. He took real cards, he put a patch
Right.
behind it, different background and stuff.
Right.
But it was like hot glued together, and spacers were all messed up, and Cam was crooked on the card. And I said, I'm going to tear it apart. I took pictures of it, and I said, I'm going to see if I can make it myself.
Right.
And when I did, I don't know, it just like unlocked something. I just thought it was awesome, like so fun. And I still have it.
Yeah.
It's still sitting on my desk. It's not as good as the stuff I do now.
Right, yeah.
That's the first
my
one.
very
First one, and you were having to put together somebody else's, work
But,
and try to make it something.
So so I'm looking at it. So people who collect cards or in the hobby game, like they understand like what a patch card is. So like this is in the form of like a patch card. So how does this whole how does the card come together where you have the patch in the background, the base behind it, the print, and everything? You said you cut some cards up and kind of like make it your own, but like the layers of this, like how does this whole thing come together?
Okay, now this particular card was both of y'all's Upper Deck 2008 rookie cards.
Yeah.
The LSU at the top and bottom, those were taken off the back of two different cards. The teammates was taken off a 2007 press pass Jamarcus Russell, Dwayne Bowe card.
Okay, all right.
The border came off a 2001 score Jamar Chase. The two purple stripes next to for the teammates, that actually came off a 2021 Terrace Marshall rookie card. And then I just
what about the tiger face patch in the background here?
From Thailand.
Love it. There we go.
they're just iron-on patches.
They know the Tigers.
Just iron-on patches.
Dude, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know like so many different cards to put together one card. Like you got to kind of reach out, like find some LSU cards and maybe have what you're looking for.
Right.
But I know you get requests all the time, and you're doing these. Like, what is maybe the one that you got that was maybe the hardest to find exactly what you were looking for as you were putting it together?
I'm actually working on it right now. A guy sent me a Saints patch off of a hat.
Yeah.
And he wants it to be a single card, horizontal, that has Deuce, Colston, and Bush on it. And the problem I'm having is finding the same size of each player to match to go on the card together. And for whatever reason, the Colston is giving me a lot of trouble.
So you just like when somebody gives you something like that, you're like, hey, I'm working on it.
Right.
But I've got to research. I got to wait till this almost kind of falls into my lap a little bit.
Well, luckily,
the right
this
size.
guy, he's ordered several from me.
Okay. All right.
So he's like, okay, no problem.
Yeah. So what is it kind of your spec? Is it all professional collegiate athletes that kind of have current cards, or could someone reach out to you like they have a senior in high school or something like that that's like, I want to make a card for my son, it's his last year playing football, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever done that?
Yes, sir, I have. I've done, there's a kid that goes to Prairieville High.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He did his first 2 years at Dutchtown, and his dad has gotten me to make each year.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So cool.
I just got the stuff the other day to do his senior.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And I've done a couple other people.
That's really cool.
That's played for LSU, but never, Jake the Viking.
Oh, yeah.
I did some for him and his family.
Right.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I just did the Queen of Pink. She was some beauty queen.
All right.
Did one for her. Yeah.
So we can make cards for anybody, is what we're saying.
Yeah, it's just when it comes to some people, like when Harbaugh first won, the Michigan's national champion, a lot of people reached out and wanted one of him, but he didn't have any cards of him in a Michigan uniform as a coach on the sideline.
Right.
And they just said, you just go online and print it. And I don't want to do that because that's like copyright.
Yeah.
So I say, no, it has, once he comes out with a card, then I can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Chris, we appreciate it, man. I'm fired up for that. Again, at 4C_custom cards is the handle on Instagram. Give him a follow. You'll be blown away with the work that he does. And so we'll put this on our socials as well so you can kind of see an up-close version of it. You're the man. We appreciate it, man. We're going to have that on the desk every single day.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
All right, we'll step away. More OTB when we come back here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the bench.
All right, go to trashrangers.com. Trashrangers.com is the website if you want to sign up for that roll-off dumpster that we talk about all the time, right? 3 different sizes to choose from. That's at your home. It's at your business. Maybe you're doing some cleaning at the house. Maybe you're moving. Maybe you have a remodel at the house. Or if you have a business, you have the same situation. All right, look. Maybe you're just cleaning up at the business. Whatever it might be, you call them, hey, here's what I've got going on, and they'll make sure you have the right size dumpster every single time. 225-612-2477.
Yeah, I don't care where you are, whether you're at your home, you're at your place of work. There's going to be trash. And Trash Rangers, they are the absolute best at handling it. Reliable, waste, and hassle-free trash removal. Like I said, residential, you just need a dumpster. At your business, you need a roll-off dumpster. They can size it for you. They can handle all your trash needs. That is Trash Rangers, trashrangers.com.
Mm. 2007 champs, purple and gold to the core. This is Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn. Baton Rouge's go-to for all things Louisiana sports.
She's mighty, just letting it all hang out. She's a bread house. I like lady stack, that's a fact. Ain't holding nothing back. She's a bread.
All right, welcome back in OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. T-Hen wants us to talk about Keelan Williams' calves. They were giant.
Nice calves.
Great calves.
Great calves.
All calf team, Keelan Williams, Sean Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
That's the list.
Great calves.
All arm team.
Nice sets.
Richard Murphy, Brandon Taylor.
Can you make the all calf team if your calves connect to your ankles?
No, so Flynn's disqualified.
Asking for a friend.
All CTE team, Flynn and Hester.
Well,
you do got some cankles.
I don't have cankles.
You do.
I did when I was coming out. When I was in high school, I did. My body was in flux. It was growing. I'm ready to make a bold prediction.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, hit us.
LaRon Landry's on the all bicep team, but his biceps got bigger in the NFL, I think.
He's on all trap team.
Yeah, he's traps. Yeah, he's on the all trap team.
Traps and delts.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, like Richard Murphy, BT, big guns.
What's your bold prediction?
All right. So I wanted to do something before the season starts where we all make extremely hot takes, like bold predictions, and we can rank them like this is like very unlikely to happen, but I'm going to say it's going to happen. And what's going to be a little competition.
Okay.
So we got to make predictions throughout the season, for the end of the season, whatever it is.
I've got a doc that I'm starting to accumulate
Yep.
them all on.
My first take is I'm going to make it very bold. I was going to kind of like try to buffer it a little bit by saying he'd be top 2 or 3 in the voting. But that went against the spirit of what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I think Jordan Love is going to win the NFL MVP this year.
Oh, we're going I thought you were just going straight LSU.
No, any NFL or college football take.
Okay, so this is just for us and not for the station survey.
This is not for the station survey.
Okay.
Oh, no. This is just because I teased Jordan Love earlier. I saw something come across Twitter yesterday that kind of like got me thinking about his time as a starter for the Packers and kind of what he's done up to date. I know he hadn't like gotten it done all the time. He's had this like stretch his first year starting towards the end where he was like there was no quarterback playing better football than him. But I saw this stat come across that he has the most completions on 20-plus yard throws over the past 2 years. He's got 59 over the past 2 years. So a guy that's playing his first 2 years as a starter in a wide receiver room with no like true number one. He has been the most productive, explosive passer in the league, despite the fact that he's missed 2 games starting and he missed like a couple of halves here and there for injury as well. And with a wide receiver core that's really like the youngest wide receiver core in the NFL, very talented, albeit. But they also were 3rd in the league last year in dropped passes. They had 33 drop passes, I believe. The only people that had more was the Browns and the Jets. So now they add Matthew Golden, who by all reports coming out of camp is he has been an absolute stud.
Yep.
So you add this guy to that mix. Jordan Love in the NFC, he's going to have all of these big highlighted games. It's going to be primetime. He's going to have 2 matchups versus the Vikings, 2 matchups versus the Lions, and of course 2 matchups versus a former number 1 pick with the Bears. Like all of those games are going to be maybe not games of the week, but they're going to be highly watched because all the implications that's going to have for one of the best conferences or divisions in the NFL with that NFC North. So he's going to have the opportunities. And, I think this is the year where the Packers take the NFC North. I think they're going to win those close, tight games. And I'm just looking at his wide receiver core. He's got Jaden Reed, 857 yards receiving last year, 6 touchdowns. Christian Watson tore his ACL, but he had 620 yards before that. Romeo Doubs, 601 yards. Dontavian Wicks, who was their 4th guy at 415 yards. And their tight end last year, Tucker Kraft, was their 2nd leading. So they got a real pass-catching dude at tight end, 707 yards. So with that being said, you throw Matthew Golden into this mix, they are going to be a force. And I've seen stretches where Jordan Love has played as good as any quarterback had played in the entire NFL. So there is my prediction. That is the first. I'm kicking off our bold predictions, our bold hot takes. Jordan Love, 2025 NFL MVP.
All right. I know Taylor's got one ready to go in the chamber.
We don't have to go around the room. Y'all can think about this because I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about all this.
I have one, but it's Taylor. He's got to take.
How bold do you want to go?
I want to go as bold as you want to go. My ideal situation is we'd each come up with 5 or 6 and extremely bold, pretty bold, and just kind of on the edge. I want to see. I think we should have tiers of boldness here.
All right, I got a really bold one for you.
Love it. Let's go.
The Kansas City Chiefs will not win the AFC West.
Broncos, Chargers, or Raiders?
Bold of the bold.
Thinking about this. Okay. I don't hate it. Don't hate it. Who do you think's going to win?
I'm high on the Broncos and the Chargers here. I just think the division kind of beats each other up a little bit.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs play a lot of really tough games on the road, too, out of the division. I'll go the Denver Broncos. I think the Denver Broncos win that division. Okay. I think they're going to have the best defense in the NFL. Well, I think 3 teams in that division make the playoffs. I think the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos all make it. But I think the Broncos win that division.
It's not terrible because the Chiefs aren't always, especially last year, not very sexy during the regular season. or the playoffs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes did not lead any category in passing statistics. Sometimes wasn't even that darn good, but they won the game because all Andy Reid cares about is winning a football game. Doesn't matter how it looks. And they've all bought into that. And they win these close games, and they do it. So in order for your prediction to come right, they have to be a lot like they were last year, but just fall a little bit short in those games, which they've never proven to do that.
You look at, again, I think the division beats each other up. You look at the games the Chiefs play out of the division. The Ravens, the Eagles, the Lions, the Commanders, the Bills. I mean, they have a tough out-of-division schedule. I mean, there's a chance that happens.
And you heard it. He said the Chargers are going to win the division.
I mean, the Chargers very well could.
Avo said, imagine thinking the NFL will let Taylor Swift not win the division.
Guys, they're going to be in the playoffs, okay?
That's a good point.
All right, before I give you my bold prediction, I want to remind you about our friends over at Pelican Roofing. Go to pelicanroof.com. You'll see the 5-star reviews on the homepage. You'll see the financing options right there on the homepage. Always remember, in Lafayette, in Baton Rouge, boots on the ground in both. Instant roof quote right there on the homepage as well. If you want an idea of what that roof is going to cost you at your home, at your business, it is right there on the website. Go to the website today, pelicanroof.com. Again, in Lafayette, in Baton Rouge, they are servicing both areas, not driving back and forth. They are going to always be there in the local community, pelicanroof.com. My bold prediction, Alvin Kamara, for the first time in his career, rushes for 1,000 yards.
Oh, I like it.
For the first time.
I like it.
He's had 728, 883, 797, 932, 898, 897, 694, and 950 a year ago. I think he's going to get an opportunity. Young quarterback. He's going to have a lot of carries if he stays healthy. He is going to be the driving force behind whatever the offense ends up being. We saw what Saquon did last year, obviously, with the Eagles.
And he's got a room full of first and second rounders blocking for him.
That he does. That he does, Derek. That he does. So, Alvin Kamara, first time in his career, 1,000-yard rusher. That's bold because it's never happened, and he's played a long time.
That is bold because
never done it.
2 segments ago, we talked about
I know.
where, like, we're trying to coach the running back on where to run the ball.
Yep.
And we're like, there's nowhere to run the ball.
We're going bold.
Jake did not specify how many carries it would take to get to it.
You take all of them.
Yards per carry don't matter in this
903 carries.
He had 950 yards last season.
So he's close.
He's close.
Alondra, you want to do yours
So I didn't
now?
have an NFL one ready. I didn't know which direction
No,
we were
I
didn't
going.
either.
Anywhere in football.
So my bold prediction might be, I don't know how bold this is, but I think that Harold Perkins will finish top 3 in Heisman voting.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
You didn't know how bold that was?
That's bold.
So if I'm doing my research
That's a
correctly,
10.
the last linebacker to finish anywhere in the top 3
I know
or
this
even
answer.
Manny Te'o back in 2012.
Oh, Manti Te'o.
And
Him and
So-
Lene.
That's right.
in 2012, when he finished second in Heisman voting. He had 49 tackles, solo tackles, 62 assisted, and 1.5 sacks. I'm looking at Harold Perkins' last full season back in 2023. Did he play the full season in 2023? Anyways, he had 43 solo tackles, 31 assisted, and 5.5 sacks. In 2022, he had 39 solo, 33 assisted, and in 23 he had 74 total tackles. So if he's going to have the breakout season that people say he is, he has an opportunity to have the same amount, if not better, stats than Manny Te'o last time that a linebacker was in Heisman.
Look, if that happens, LSU is in a great spot.
Yeah.
As a team. We talked about he might be the most important non-quarterback across the country.
Oh, if that happens, come on, you'd have him and us top 3. Choo-woo. If that happens, we are.
You have a first-round bye in the playoffs.
We have a first-round bye in the playoffs for sure.
It's pretty bold.
I love it.
All right.
I want the bolder, the better.
Let's take our last break of the week. Wrap it up answering your questions. We'll ask the bench here on OTB.
Off the bench.
Yeah, you got Perk in the Heisman ceremony there with us. You know what you're enjoying?
Yeah, a bunch of Dos Equis.
You are. Feet are kicked up.
More
You're
than
going
two.
for Dos.
More than Dos.
Having a great time. That means LSU's having a great season, and nothing pairs better than a good old Dos Equis with a little tailgate action there. So, look, it is upon us. We are less than 10 days away from the first game of the college football season. So, tailgating season is here. There's nothing better than having the tent up, having the TV on, opening the ice chest, and seeing some ice cold Dos Equis.
Yeah, opening your fridge, looking in there, and just seeing that beautiful green bottle staring at you. Like he just said it. We're getting ready for Farmageddon. We got no dog in that fight, but it's football. It's college football. So have a Dos Equis ready to go. That delicious ice cold Mexican lager. Getting ready for football season. Drink Dos Equis. Drink responsibly.
5 bad boys with the power to rock you. Blowing your mind, so you gotta get into 5. What you waiting for? If you want to.
From players to legends, Hester and Flynn break down LSU football like only champions can.
Hey. All right, welcome back in OTB. You can go ahead and keep this in the background. This might be the new Friday song. Ask the Bench, will Derek Dooley supporters vote for him if they find out he mocked a high school kid for having fat ankles?
That's true. Body shaming.
Wait, is he running in Georgia?
So good.
It's Georgia, right?
Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to get bonus points for that.
Ooh.
What a question. What a question.
Really got to dig deep into these people's past,
You
y'all.
really do. Turn it up if you got that body.
Ask the Bench, favorite 90s hip-hop artist or rapper?
That's a
Vanilla-
good
I mean,
question.
if you go outside of like the New Orleans guys, Busta Rhymes.
Vanilla Ice.
All right, Rob Van Winkle, shout out.
I don't know.
You got to give one. Come on,
Usher.
Tay, you got to give one. Oh my God.
Tay don't know.
I'm a
Jesus.
Tay
We'll
don't
see you
know.
next week.
I'm sorry.
Boo!
Off the bench.
God, the guy from Walker can't give you a hip hop artist. You go to BoudreauxElectrical.com.
Not his generation.
The old Gulf of America heating up. But it's okay. Okay? Because you're going to be ready. You're going to have more power, more protection. Because you're going to have the whole home generator from Boudreaux's Electrical. They've got over 80 right now in stock ready to go. They're going to come in, slab it up, put it down, and you are going to have the ultimate peace of mind. You're going to have it thanks to BoudreauxElectrical.com.
Having peace of mind is absolutely priceless, and you can still get it done. They have inventory in stock, ready to go for this hurricane season. So give them a call. Let them size a generator perfectly for your home. Be the envy of the neighborhood when the power goes out. Be the ones with the lights on. Protect yourself, protect your house, protect your things. BoudreauxElectrical.com.